It's been a bit of whiplash in Texas. A federal appeals court heard arguments over whether to allow Texas to enforce a state law temporarily. Senate Bill 4 permits state law enforcement to arrest and detain people they suspect of illegally entering the country. The hearing came one day after the Supreme Court effectively allowed the measure to take effect, only for the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit to block the law less than 12 hours after the High Court's decision. This was an expedited hearing to determine whether the law can stand, ahead of the panel's April 3rd arguments on the merits. It's unclear if the court will wait to make a decision until they have the merits arguments. The Department of Homeland Security is typically responsible for handling undocumented migrants and people who enter the country illegally. A law signed by Governor Greg Abbott in December makes entering the Lone Star State illegally a state crime and would allow Texas judges to order deportations. The law was initially challenged by the Biden administration and a pair of immigrant advocacy groups. But as a part of the High Court's 6-3 vote, Justice Amy Coney Barrett and Justice Brett Kavanaugh contended the Supreme Court should avoid second-guessing appeals courts when it comes to short-term administrative pauses, because this generally is used to give courts a few additional days to review the briefs. The pair of justices warned a final determination by the appeals court about whether to pause the implementation of the Texas law while the appeals process plays out in lower courts should happen sooner rather than later. The Fifth Circuit complied and scheduled expedited oral arguments about the stay shortly after the High Court acted. Justice Sonia Sotomayor, whose dissent was joined by Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, said the order, quote, invites further chaos and crisis in immigration enforcement.